In this video, I will show you how to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix or a 3 by 3 matrix. For a 2 by 2 matrix, you can simply do the down diagonal minus the up diagonal. Now, what do I mean by that? So this is the down diagonal, and this is the up diagonal. So the down diagonal is -4 times 5, and the up diagonal is -2 times 6. So the determinant should be -20 minus -12. So of course when you subtract a negative you add, so this is really the same thing as -20 plus 12, which is going to be -8. So for the determinant of A is -8. Similarly, the determinant of B will be the down diagonal minus the up diagonal. So the down diagonal is going to be 3 times 5. The up diagonal will be 2 times -7. So this should be 15 minus -14. So again, minus and negative is addition, so this is going to be 15 plus 14, which is going to be 29. Now let's talk about how you find the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. I'm going to use something called Cofactor Expansion. First thing you need to do is pick a row. It's best to pick a row that has a 0 or a 1 in it. So I like row 3 because it has a 0 and a 1. You'll see why that's helpful in a moment. Okay, so the 3 and the 0 and the 1 are going to wind up being coefficients. So I'm going to have 3 and 0 and 1 in the front of some other stuff. However, the signs. The sign pattern is going to go like this: plus, negative, plus. Which really doesn't mean positive and negative. Plus, in this context, means we keep the sign what it is. Minus means that we change the sign. Okay? So this is what we'll do for the bottom row. So the pluses mean we will keep the signs of the 3 and the 1 the same. And the 0, we would change the sign. So if it were positive, it would become negative. But if it was negative, it would become positive. But since it's 0, it doesn't matter. So these will be my coefficients. If I did the middle row, the sign pattern would be minus, plus, minus. Whoops. I said minus, plus, minus, which means change it, keep it the same, change it. And if we were to use the top row, it would be back to keep it, change it, keep it again. So keep this sign pattern in mind. Okay, so now we're going to do one more thing. Starting with the 3, let's figure out what we are going to multiply the 3 by. So what we need to do is, because we're looking at the 3, we are going to cancel out the column that has the 3 in it. Notice how that leaves a little matrix behind. So what we're going to do is we're going to wind up doing the determinant of this submatrix. So this little submatrix is -1, -3, 2, 5. Okay. What about, and I'll just put a little plus right here. What about for the 0? Okay, so since we're looking at the 0, go away little guy. Since we're looking at the 0, I am going to cancel out that column and ask myself what the little submatrix will be. The submatrix will be 2, -3, 5, and 5. Oh, that's my other coefficient. Okay, so I'll put a plus right there. Now I'm going to look at the 1. So because I'm looking at the 1, now I will cancel out that column. So the submatrix that's left behind is 2, -1, 5, and 2. That was not a very good 5. Okay, so we're going to do these multipliers, these cofactors, times the determinant of these little submatrices. So we learned on the previous problems that when you are doing the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix, you do the down diagonal minus the up diagonal. So this is going to be -5 minus -6. All right, the down diagonal minus the up diagonal, plus. Now, this is going to be 0 no matter what, so I don't need to do the down diagonal and the up diagonal. 0 times any of that is just going to be 0, which is why it's helpful to have a 0, because it saves you some math. All right, let's move on to the last part. So this is just going to be 1 times down diagonal is 4 minus the up diagonal, which is -5. So that's going to be 3 times. -5 minus -6. Well, that's like -5 plus 6, so that's 1. Plus 0 plus 1 times. 4 minus -5 is like 4 plus 5, so that's 9. So we really will have 3 plus 0 plus 9, and 3 plus 9 is 12. So the determinant of matrix C is 12. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.